Welcome to This Week in East Brunswick. Today we join Mayor Brad Cohn as he talks with the director of the Department of Public Works about how the township makes and uses brine in anticipation of snow and icy conditions. We celebrate the senior student athletes of the East Brunswick High School wrestling team as they recognize the seniors and their families before a home match against Marlborough. Then we welcome Al Nygren, Executive Director and Curator of the New Jersey Film Festival, back to the studio as he provides an overview of the festival, which is currently underway at Rutgers University. All this, plus we have a new segment of EBTV Flashback as we dig into the archives for a blast from the past. All this and more, so stay with us. This Week in East Brunswick starts now.
So we're here today on this slightly cold winter day to talk a little bit about brining and snow preparation that the township does. I'm here with our Director of DPW, Dan Losick, and I guess the first question that I wanted to ask is, what is brine and how do we use it?
Salt brine is just a combination of granular salt mixed with water with a 23.3% solution by weight. The purpose is with regular granular salt, it does not activate until it becomes wet. So all you're doing with regular granular salt is creating a brine. So we're creating a brine basically in a laboratory ahead of time.
And you use that in advance of a snowstorm. And how does it help us to use less actual salt?
Correct. What's called anti-icing is what we put down before a storm, and that prevents the bond of snow and ice to the roadway, which is 4 times more effective than if you have a bond of snow and ice to remove that afterwards. It's like a Teflon or coating your pan, so the snow and ice can be mechanically removed from the roadway.
And so is there specific temperatures or weather conditions that you would use brine, or circumstances when you wouldn't?
We try to look at the air temperatures and try to predict what the road temperatures are. That's the most important factor in putting the material down. And if it's going to rain, we don't put it down. It'll just get washed away. And if it's too cold, you might be creating an icy situation by making it into a liquid. So if it's really, really cold, the colder snow tends to be drier, which would come off the road really, really by itself.
It's like everything else. It's very much dependent upon how reliable that weather forecast is going to be, which isn't always the case. We have to work with what we're given.
Correct. Yeah, we try to use that, and we try to use a measure of safety involved with that. So we try to err on the side of caution. We don't want to have any issues with motorist residents, emergency responders to have any issues with getting into accidents.
And is there specific road temperatures that you're looking for to make this most effective?
Yeah, we can put it down up until, regular salt's probably effective maybe 20 degrees. We have additives we can get to a lower working temperature, but generally in the range of, we can put it above freezing to about, say, 27 degrees.
Right. So if it gets much lower than that, it's probably not going to be that effective.
We wouldn't apply it, correct.
Right. A lot in the papers about natural products that are being used, beet juice, molasses, and how does that actually, I know people have talked about it, and I've seen paperwork and written documents about it. How does that actually work, or do we use it in augmentation with the work that we're already doing here for brine?
We currently use as an additive, if we need to use to get down to a lower temperature, we'll use a magnesium chloride with a molasses. So the organic molasses is a sugar which adds some tackiness, so it would keep the material down on the road. Yep.
Right. And maybe a little bit about the equipment that we have here, so that residents have an idea how this whole system works.
Yeah, behind us we have four tanks that are 6,000 gallons apiece, and 3 of the tanks are using just straight salt brine, so that's about 18,000 gallons. And then this tank here to the front is just for our additive when we need it. We can inject that as we load it off, and we can do different percentages to that.
So from the capacity that we have here, we have enough to do the town in the entire 180 miles of roads that we're responsible for here?
Yes, plus the outside agencies that we supply to as well.
Right.
Yes.
So we do sell to other towns the extra capacity that we have.
Correct. Yes, and we can always generate more as we're loading off. We can generally make about 4,000 gallons per hour.
And generally, from a filled truck, how many miles of roads would they be able to accomplish putting down the brine on, for just so people have a sense of what our capacity is and what these trucks are capable of doing?
Our large trucks can hold 1,500 gallons of liquid, and we put it down at 40 gallons per mile, so roughly 30 miles of road we can accomplish with that.
That's right. So in a couple of trucks, we really have pretty much the town done.
Yeah, it takes us about, to do the entire town, it courts everything with some smaller vehicles and the big trucks, it takes us about a good 8 hours to do. So we have to plan well in advance if we're going to be doing that.
And if you're brining during the town, will you do all the roads in the township, or do you selectively pick which roads you're doing?
Dependent on, again, the forecast and the severity. If it's going to be a snowstorm, we try to do everything, and then it's dependent on how much time we have to get everything ready, and manpower and conditions before the storm. If it's wet, we really can't put it down either.
It'll just get diluted and
Yes.
wash off. Maybe a good idea now would be to go inside and show people the actual equipment and how the brine production is done from scratch.
Sure.
So we're indoors right now, which is warmer, so that's nice. But what we're actually looking at is the equipment that we utilize to produce the brine. So Dan, is it possible, could you just take us through how the production system works?
So this is an automated system, and there's a series of valves and baffles that allows us to make the brine. So this is a system diagram of what actually happens. Outside we have a vessel that we put the salt in. This grayed area there is the actual water level. So if we were going to make a batch, we'd hit the batch button, put in how many gallons we would like to make, and the system would turn on. It would cycle around until it came into this concentration bar to the 23.3%. At that point, the pump would shift and pump it into our tank, and would fill our tanks outside that we saw earlier.
So what you're looking at here is the system as it is. It will automatically be set to make the right concentration, and then pump into the storage bins, and then from right in here somebody can pull up and directly fill their trucks from the bins that you have already outside.
Correct. Yeah, the product in the tanks, we have a filling station. The operator would put in the truck number, the material they would like to select, whether it be straight brine or a percentage of additive, and then how many gallons, and they would start the system up.
Got it. And I know when we're driving, people could see that there's been brine laid already by looking at the color. How do you get that, since salt's usually white and you might not necessarily see that?
Occasionally what we'll do is we'll actually tint the brine, so then when it's put on the salt, people can actually see that it was applied, and we use a product called liquid tint. It's a bluish color, and that gives a visual aspect to the people that might not see white salt and white snow.
Got it. Very good. I think it's a lot more science than most people think to this whole system, and it benefits us because we save significant amount of money on salt, which again would be expensive and wasteful in many instances, and it's a lot safer and less harmful to the environment, which is something that a lot of us today are concerned about. So.
Correct. Yes, and we're more proactive in putting it down, and we can put it down at the time we want, and buys us some time to react.
Perfect. I hope that answers some questions for individuals. I know that I read on Facebook, people call the office all the time and want to know why we applied a lot of the material, either how it works or the reasoning behind it. And for those that aren't really sure or are interested in the science, we wanted to make sure you understood that, and that there really is a method behind all of this. And at the end of the day, it's safer, less harmful for the environment, and saves us a lot of money for the taxpayers, which is our number one concern.
The East Brunswick High School wrestling team recently celebrated senior night, honoring the student athletes and their families before a home match. Let's check out some of the action and meet the seniors.
Hi everyone, it's Al Nygren, Executive Director and Curator of the New Jersey Film Festival, here to tell you about our upcoming Spring 2019 Film Festival. We had 22 films that were selected out of 564 that were submitted from around the world, and so we're going to be having a competition where those 22 films are up for Best Feature, Best Documentary, Best Short Film, Best Animation, and they're given prizes and accolades at the very end of the process. The competition part of the festival will be running from Friday, January 25th through February 10th. We'll be screening films on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday evenings, starting at 7 p.m. in our state-of-the-art facility, Voorhees Hall, which is room 105. It's a very beautiful auditorium. It seats about 250 people. It has high-definition projection system, soundproofing. We have listening assistive devices for people who are hard of hearing. And it's a really nice space with cushy chairs, graded space so nobody's blocking you when you're watching. So it's really nice movie space. So that will be taking place again from Friday, January 25th to Sunday, February 10th. We have 8 programs that will be part of the competition. We don't have programming the night of Super Bowl. We stay away from that because nobody would come. Sad to say. Anyway, so those 22 films I'm going to go over soon, but I also wanted to tell you that there'll be 2 Friday screenings that are being hosted by the Confucius Institute at Rutgers University. There's 2 free screenings by the very acclaimed American Chinese director Wayne Wang, and those movies will be on the 15th of February and the 1st of March. You can check out more information about them at our website, which is www.njfilmfest.com. We also have a smaller film festival that's part of the New Jersey Film Festival this spring. It's the United States Super 8 Film and Digital Video Festival, and that'll be taking place on February 22nd and 23rd, Friday and Saturday evenings. And there'll be a really wonderful lineup of films that are primarily shot on the old amateur gauge Super 8 film and digital films as well. We don't know the lineup yet. We will be announcing them sometime in January. You can check out our website by the 1st of February to see what films will be screening for that little festival within the larger one. Here's what we're going to be showing as part of the competition. On Friday, January 25th, we have a wonderful animation by Simon Liu. He's from Los Angeles, California. It's called Geometry, and it pays homage to the experimental filmmakers Oscar Fischinger and John Whitney. It's a very beautiful film, very short, only 2 minutes. And then the feature film is one of my favorites of what we're going to be screening this coming semester. Diary of Rooftop Water Towers is a film by Nobuyuki Asai. He's from New York, a Japanese filmmaker. And this is an amazing film that documents all the water towers in New York City. A series of haiku films that are really a kind of city film that give you a kind of look at the personality of the upper echelons of New York City. One of the most amazing films that I've ever seen, really. It has to be checked out. It was shot on 35mm film in black and white, and it has a lot of personality. I hope you'll come and check it out. The director will be there along with the producer, Keiko Shinogaga, and they will be there to do a Q&A with the audience. That's on Friday, January 25th. Then on Saturday, January 26th is a kind of horror night, and we'll be interviewing one of the filmmakers in the next filmmaker interview that we'll be doing here on EBTV. So you can check it out there. That's on Saturday, January 26th, horror night. Then Sunday, January 27th is musical night, and we'll have Zach Morrison, who's from East Brunswick, here to talk about his fine musical, Everything's Fine, A Panic Attack in D Major. The documentary that evening is about gospel music, and that's by Robert Klenn, called How They Got Over. So that winds up the program for Sunday, January 27th, and that's our opening weekend. The following Friday, we have a series of animation films and films that deal with art. Kenzie Sutton is from Millburn, New Jersey, and her stop-motion animation film called Harles is also one of my favorites from this year's lineup. Then we have Anthony Marinville's Mimi Van Olsen, Pet Portraitist. It's about this really great artist who draws people's pets. And if you love animals, I highly recommend this film. It's really a very endearing film. And Anthony's going to be coming from Los Angeles to be part of our festival to do a Q&A. So come and check it out. Another local film from Millburn, New Jersey by David Coe and Emma Kwong called Leaving an Impression, a Portrait of Edward Duffner, is about the restoration of these two really great Impressionist paintings that are up at the Millburn City Hall, I believe. And David will be there to do a Q&A along with Lorraine Brennan-Barrock, who's the producer of the film. That's the lineup for the Friday program on February 1st. On Saturday, February 2nd, we have two really great films, Queenie and The All or Nothing Thin King by Benny Quintero, which is an experimental film. And then David Bellarosa, who's from Austin, Texas, he's going to be coming up to talk about his romantic comedy called Here We Are, and a really great film. Indie films need to be seen, and this is one that was made with a lot of love. Then on Friday, February 8th, we got two documentaries by Princeton filmmakers. The Shepherd Sings a Song by Andrew Nee. He's going to be here as part of our filmmaker interview series. And Janet Gardner's highly acclaimed Quakers, The Quiet Revolutionaries, is about Quakers. And I learned a lot. I didn't know that Richard Nixon was a Quaker. And I learned a lot from this documentary. And hope you'll come and check it out because both filmmakers will be there to do a Q&A. Then on Saturday, February 9th, we have a really great lineup of films about women. Game Changer is by Sam Shapiro. It's a musically driven silent film about a young woman who discovers she's pregnant. It's a very, very wonderful film. Joe by Justine Williams. She's from New York, follows a 13-year-old girl who clashes with her mom. It's also a really great film that's set up, has a Jewish theme because she's getting her bat mitzvah and she's kind of revolting against her mom. Really, really interesting film, very funny and very serious at the same time. And Emily Casey's film is probably the most challenging film that we are offering. It's called A Girl Named C. It's a documentary that addresses one of the most taboo subjects in the United States. It's child sexual assault, and it focuses on a young New Jersey girl who was abused as a young girl. A really important film that should be seen by everyone. And Emily will be there to do a Q&A. Our last program on Sunday, February 10th, is a series of documentaries that deal with food. We have a couple of experimental films in there too. Introducing Scully is an animation by Kirk Wallace. Yellow Arrows by Yana Sar, a Russian filmmaker based in New York. A really interesting film, very beautiful to look at. The Last Harvest is about the state of immigration and harvesting our food. A very important film also by Alexis Sprake. She's from Watsonville, California. And then Kathleen Doherty Huxley, Vermont Fancies, about a Vermont farmer who harvests maple syrup, and is also a really important film to see. Kathleen will be there to do a Q&A, and this program is being sponsored by the Rutgers University School of Environmental and Biological Sciences Honors Program. We're grateful to for their support, as well as many other university departments who provide programming support for our film festival. The Cinema Studies program is the largest and the most important since we're housed with them. So that's our lineup for the Spring 2019 Film Festival. Hope you will join us. You can get more information at our website, which is www.njfilmfest.com. Thanks so much.
Little fishing enthusiasts at the fishing derby sponsored by the Policemen's Benevolent Association enjoyed warm, sunny weather Saturday and a freshly stocked lake at the community beach. Children had 2 hours to compete for the largest catch in their age groups, and there was a contest for casting lines at a target. Officer Ken Wallace gave us a brief overview of the event.
Good morning, I'm Officer Ken Wallace, the East Brunswick Police Department. We're here at Diamondbacks for the 4th annual East Brunswick PBA Children's Fishing Derby. Behind me are approximately 162 township children fishing for 771 trout that were stocked yesterday afternoon in the lake. The trout range in size from 10 inches to 22 inches, and rods and reels will be given away to the largest fish caught by each child in each age group.
The largest catch of the day over all the age groups was the 19-inch brown trout caught by 9-year-old Michael Spedalieri. He received a complimentary T-shirt and brought home the new fishing pole of his choice. Two young teenagers tied for first in their group. 14-year-olds Thomas Antal and Adam Slaninko each reeled in a 13.5-inch rainbow trout.
Are you a fan of theater? A patron of the arts? Do you find it too difficult to get to a Broadway show? If so, Playhouse 22 is perfect for you. Held in East Brunswick's Community Arts Center at 721 Cranberry Road, Playhouse 22 is the go-to spot for a night at the theater. With new productions almost every month, you'll never have to wait too long to see a show. The award-winning team at Playhouse 22 puts on a wide array of plays, ranging from classics like Death of a Salesman to musicals like Grease and family favorites like A Christmas Carol. The Playhouse also offers affordable season ticket packages for theater-goers of all ages. Conveniently located right here in East Brunswick, Playhouse 22 is perfect for the casual viewer, the lifelong theater fan, and everyone in between. Visit the theater website at www.playhouse22.org for information on upcoming performances.